Good afternoon. I'm Susan Etner, Interim Dean of Graduate Education. Before we begin, I would like to make you aware that this event is being recorded so that nominees and awardees not able to attend may view this event at their convenience. You may also wish to set your view to speaker view using the controls at the top right of your screen. I'm delighted to welcome you to today's ceremony to recognize and congratulate UCLA's postdoctoral scholars and their mentors for their research achievements. Traditionally, we would be holding this event on campus. Thus, I would like to acknowledge our presence on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of the Gabrielino Tongva peoples, the traditional land caretakers of Tovangar. Today, we take time to celebrate the accomplishments of our nominees and recipients of the 2020 to 21 Chancellor's Award for Postdoctoral Research. We will also be recognizing the faculty identified by our Postdoctoral Association at UCLA for Faculty Mentoring Awards. Postdoctoral fellows are extraordinary and critical members of the UCLA community. Our postdocs are brilliant, skilled, creative, and passionate. These traits are what enable them not only to be productive researchers, but also innovative thinkers whose discoveries impact the world and contribute to UCLA's tradition of excellence. As a graduate dean, professor, and researcher, I'm particularly aware of the impact that you, our postdoctoral scholars, have on our undergraduate and graduate students. You guide and mentor them in the classroom and in the laboratory. You impart your experimental skills. You teach students how to design experiments. You demonstrate critical analytic thinking, and you provide important feedback on papers, proposals, and presentations. You are teachers, coaches, critics, and cheerleaders. Through your dedication and drive, you are extraordinarily role models for our undergraduate and graduate students who look to you as experts in the field and aspire to your success. Everyone watching today knows that it is often the postdocs who are at the leading edge of discoveries, of conceptualization, and the development of advanced techniques. And yet your impact extends beyond your research in your labs, to your departments and to our campus. You've become full partners in what your faculty mentors and UCLA as an institution have achieved. Though you are often in the background, doing the vital work that drives the engines of research on our campus, we take time today to shine a spotlight on your wonderful contributions and on your impact. We are privileged to be able to honor you. And while our format today does not allow us to give you the standing ovation you all richly deserve, know that we are applauding in our respective locations in recognition of all that you do and all that you have achieved, particularly in a year filled with so many challenges. We also want to recognize our postdoc mentors, who often go above and beyond to ensure that our postdocs can enjoy a successful experience at UCLA. Your encouragement and guidance allow us as an institution to deliver on the promise of a postdoc experience that is rich and rewarding. We celebrate your contributions today as well. Today's event and the awards have been made possible by many campus sponsors. In addition to the graduate division, they include the following: Antonio Bernardo, Dean, Anderson School of Management; C. Cindy Fan, Vice Provost, International Institute; Miguel Garcia Garibay, Dean, Division of Physical Sciences; Darnell Hunt, Dean, Division of Social Sciences; Paul Krebsbach, Dean, School of Dentistry; Kelsey Martin, Dean, David Geffen School of Medicine; Jyoti Murthy, Henry Samueli School of Engineering and Applied Science; Linda Sarna, Dean, School of Nursing; David Skaberg, Dean, Division of Humanities; Tracy Johnson, Dean, Life Sciences; Christina Christie, Dean, Graduate School of Education and Information Studies; Roger M. Wakimoto, Vice Chancellor for Research; Alexander Young, Director, Semel Institute for Neuroscience and Human Behavior, and Ronald Brookmeyer, Dean, Fielding School of Public Health. Please join me in thanking them for their support of postdoctoral scholarship at UCLA. I'd also like to take a moment to recognize the graduate division staff who work with postdoctoral scholars who have coordinated these awards or have helped with this event. In alphabetical order, Pete Clues, Kelsey Hyder, Lori Ishimaro, Eli Levy, Renata Lux, Paris McDonald, Scott Olson, Jackie Suero, Samantha Tago, Daniel Wong, and Yuting Wu. I also want to acknowledge our Mentor Award partners in the Postdoctoral Association at UCLA, who you'll meet later, Caroline Johnson and Leslie Sedgman. It is now my great pleasure and honor to introduce Roger Wakamoto, Vice Chancellor for Research at UCLA. Roger began his tenure as the Vice Chancellor for Research at UCLA in July 2017. He is an accomplished atmospheric scientist specializing in research on mesoscale meteorology, particularly severe convective storms and radar meteorology. In 2017, he returned to UCLA's Department of Atmospheric and Oceanic Sciences faculty, having previously served as a faculty member in 1983 through 2005, and as its chair during 1996 through 2000. After his initial tenure at UCLA, he served as the director of the Earth Observing Laboratory of the National Center for Atmospheric Research from 2005 through 2010, and subsequently as director of NCAR from 2010 through 2013. Vice Chancellor Wakimoto was also assistant director of the National Science Foundation Directorate for Geosciences from 2013 through 2017, where he led a division that supported the atmospheric, geospace, polar, earth, and ocean sciences with a $1.3 billion annual budget. He served as president of the American Meteorological Society from 2017 through 2019. Vice Chancellor Wakimoto received his BS with honors and great distinction in meteorology from San Jose State University, and his PhD in geophysical sciences from the University of Chicago. He previously held a professorship at both UCLA and the University of Colorado at Boulder. He has received many awards, including a Scientific and Technical Achievement Award from the Environmental Protection Agency for observations of air pollution, as well as the Clarence Leroy Meisinger Award from the American Meteorological Society for his contributions to understanding of mesoscale phenomena. Please join me in welcoming Vice Chancellor Roger Wakamoto.
Thank you so much, Susan. And I have to tell you, it's truly an honor to be here to celebrate our postdoctoral fellows. And I'm going to make my comments brief because this is really your time. And I do not want to use up that time before you get a chance to be honored. I should tell you, though, that I've never had the pleasure of being a postdoc. And to be honest, it's something that I regret. But I will also tell you that I had an offer on the table from UCLA to join the faculty. So I believe I made the correct choice, but I still regret not having the postdoctoral experience. I want to emphasize that you are incredible independent thinkers. You produce research that is seminal. You collaborate with other scholars. You play such an important role mentoring other students. And you make UCLA a better institution by simply your presence. Your research contributions mean that UCLA's entire research enterprise simply cannot function without your help. So I'll just close by saying I really tip my hat to all of you.
Thank you, Vice Chancellor. Each year, this event gives us the opportunity to publicly recognize the remarkable contributions that our postdoctoral scholars make to the intellectual life of UCLA and celebrate their discoveries and the impact they are having on the world. There are currently more than 900 postdoctoral fellows on campus. The 35 nominees we honor today represent just a tiny fraction of that total. At this time, I would like to welcome Dr. Daniel Wong, Assistant Dean for Academic and Postdoctoral Services in the Graduate Division. Daniel will announce the names of the nominees for the Chancellor's Award for Postdoctoral Research, following a brief nominee research compilation video. He will then announce the winners of this year's postdoctoral awards, who will be invited to make brief remarks after a short video of their research is played.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Did you know that over 4,700 million metric tons of diesel dust are emitted into the atmosphere each year?
My research tries to understand a seemingly simple question. How does air pollution make people sick?
In the United States, more than 4 couples struggles with either getting pregnant or carrying a fetus to term.
Knowing where we are and finding our way around is an absolutely fundamental ability in our daily life.
I've been trying to discover how cells lock into their chosen job and how we can manipulate them to change.
According to the World Health Organization, it's estimated that more than 260 million people are affected by depression.
The change of the climate and the environment impacts the daily life of our human society.
My research is focused on understanding how the human body responds to the new coronavirus infections.
We haven't had a new treatment for an alcohol use disorder approved by the FDA in over 20 years.
Stories from my patients inspire my research, which seeks to understand how urban planning and public policy can shape or mitigate health disparities.
Normal mouse on the thermal camera, and this is the mouse when I induce a torpor in it. You barely see it, right?
I'm combining cutting-edge molecular and systems neuroscience technologies to reveal how our genetics and experiences interact to shape our brains.
It is also expecting to revolutionize urban transportation through the development of personalized air vehicles.
In my work, I studied and created these genetically resistant models in human and mutant cells.
I identified a previous unknown role for the middle amygdala in regulating parenting behavior.
To solve this problem, I used bats as a natural experiment.
My work delivers such support.
Bisphenol A, which I'm sure everybody's heard of.
We studied the activity of happy ribosome in protocol cells and investigated the effect of lipids on RNA.
Employment properties will have a transition from 2D to 3D.
One of my main research projects during my postdoc career is to develop the seismic fragility of natural gas pipeline infrastructure in California.
This study provided a nice piece of evidence that our feelings of social connectedness to others can directly impact our well-being and our biology.
Magnets generally contain specific textures in the form of domain walls, vortices, and hedgehogs.
I have collaborated with multiple experimental research groups, including those in the United States, France, Ireland, China, and Japan.
It is my hope that my research will further advance the interdisciplinary field of critical suicide studies as it continues to intervene in the methods and methodologies used by suicide prevention experts.
This volume includes contributions by teachers, community-based educators, artists and activists, and develops the idea of hip-hop as a site of knowledge production and activism, where aesthetics are inextricably linked to politics and pedagogy.
I've worked to build a strong community of Simican enthusiasts, which I expect will be the basis for exciting discoveries from the next generation of scientists.
Our study highlighted opportunities for federal policy change to better align the goals of communities and health systems around health equity.
Understanding more about how treatments work will help us to develop next generation therapies that improve outcomes and reduce the global burden of mental illness.
We can develop better treatments for brain injury, stroke, or cardiac arrest.
In short, magnetism is a wonderful playground.
Thanks to all of our nominees for submitting content for that wonderful nominee compilation video. That was really great. So it's now my pleasure to read. Our first nominee is Adeyemi Adibi, Atmospheric and Oceanic Sciences. Rachel Blakey, Institute of the Environment and Sustainability. Catherine Chen, Medicine. Zachary Cohen, Semel Institute. Marie Collin, Civil and Environmental Engineering. Gracial Diamante, Integrative Biology and Physiology. Lucia Fernandez Del Rio, Chemistry and Biochemistry. Adrian Flores, Comparative Literature. David Gonzalez, Cardiology. Erica Groden, Psychology. Rongfeng Hu, Biological Chemistry. Justin Langerman, Biological Chemistry. Anne Legoff, Institute of Society and Genetics. Mona Moeni, Psychology. Erica Pandolfi, Molecular Cell and Developmental Biology. Juan Peng, Chemical and Biomolecular Engineering. Dale Prentice, Institute for Carbon Management. Alexa Sadier, Ecology and Evolutionary Biology. Sandro Sata, Medicine. Matthias Stangl, Psychiatry and Biobehavioral Sciences. Li Ming Dan, Neurobiology. Christina Termini, Neurobiology. Oh, Orthopedic Surgery, my mistake. Davis Yuri Torreon Castro, Medicine. Aneta Turlik, Chemistry. Daniel Velez Ramirez, Microbiology, Immunology, and Molecular Genetics. Zhong Wan, Chemistry and Biochemistry. Chen Chi Wang, Computer Science. Casey Wang, Anthropology. Shuang Wu, Material Engineering. Qian Ye, Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering. Shu Zhang, Physics and Astronomy. Weiyang Zhang, Civil and Environmental Engineering. Ji Zhang, Integrative Biology and Physiology. Xipeng Zhao, Material Science and Engineering. Shanglin Zhou, Neurobiology. Please join me in congratulating all of our postdoc award nominees. We will now present the winners of this year's award. This year, the committee has selected 11 scholars to receive the Chancellor's Award for Postdoctoral Research, which consists of a very lovely plaque and a $7,500 prize. In selecting the awardees, the Committee of Faculty and Academic Administrators considered each nominee's innovation and creativity, distinction, scholarly productivity, leadership, and the impact of the nominee's discoveries. On behalf of the committee, I can tell you that it was fascinating and exciting for them to learn about all of your work, and that it was incredibly difficult to make this selection. You are all highly valued members of the UCLA community. I'll be reading each awardee's name, then a 2-minute video of the awardee's research will be played. Each awardee will be notified via the Zoom chat to let them know that they will be the next to give their remarks. Please do try to keep your remarks brief. We don't have any Academy Award-like playoff music, but we'll be using the honor system. The awardee will be switched to a panelist so that you can give brief live remarks following your video. And now for the recipients of the Chancellor's Award for Postdoctoral Scholars. Our first winner is Catherine Chen.
I'm Catherine Chen. I'm a physician and postdoctoral fellow in the Department of Medicine at UCLA. As a physician scientist, it's my privilege to take care of patients one-on-one while also doing research aimed at improving the health of whole populations. Stories from my patients inspire my research, which seeks to understand how urban planning and public policy can shape or mitigate health disparities. My published work has focused on health equity in the context of housing stress, residential displacement, transportation, and access to healthcare. In one study, I analyzed data from a California population survey to show that people who have to move because they can't afford their housing are at increased risk for missing the medical care and medications they need. During any given year, that's about 1.4 million California adults whose medical care may be compromised because of recent cost-related moves. I am also exploring ways to bring new data sources to the study of housing stress and health. I'm currently working on a study that leverages electronic health record data and Census Bureau data to understand how neighborhood change and residential displacement may be impacting the health of patients with high blood pressure and diabetes. Last year, when COVID suddenly changed how we move around our communities, I led a project looking at how medically and socially vulnerable patients get to the doctor's office. Our work stressed the need for transportation-related policies and programs to ensure equitable access to healthcare during and after the pandemic. Finally, in response to healthcare's growing attention to the social determinants of health, like housing and transportation, I led a study using federal tax records to understand how some nonprofit hospitals are investing in housing in their communities. Our study highlighted opportunities for federal policy change to better align the goals of communities and health systems around health equity. I am hugely grateful to my team of collaborators and mentors who helped me succeed in this interdisciplinary work, and it's an honor to be nominated for the Chancellor's Award for Postdoctoral Research.
Thank you all so much. Can't turn my video on, so I'll just speak here. Just want to say I'm humbled to be here this evening in such great company. It's really such an honor to receive this award. I can say for a fact that I really wouldn't be in this position if not for the long list of mentors and collaborators who've supported me over the last 10 years or plus of my clinical and research training at UCLA. So I'd like to say a big thank you to Joanne Elmore, Lauren Wisk, Mina Ma, Jody Friedman, Division Chief Carol Mangione, and Department Chair Alan Fogelman from the Department of Medicine at UCLA. Also Terrell Knuckles from Cedars-Sinai, Fred Zimmerman, Inez Ponce, Bill McCarthy, and Beth Glenn from the School of Public Health, Paul Ong from the School of Public Affairs, Kristen Choi at the School of Nursing, Claudia Now at Kaiser Permanente, Andrea Jones at Healthy African American Families too. Thank you all so much for investing in me and for encouraging me on this less traditional career path. I'm also really grateful to all of my patients at UCLA, to the West LA VA, Saban Community Clinic for sharing their stories with me and for motivating me to study equity and structural racism in health and healthcare. And of course, a huge thank you to my family, including my wonderful husband who's here with me right now, for keeping me going and for being patient with me while I seemingly go to school forever and ever. So thank you all again to the graduate division and to the selection committee for this award. It's really such an honor. So thank you.
Congratulations, Catherine. And now I'd like to present our second winner, Adeyemi Adibi.
A lot of us are familiar with dust storms, which are strong desert dust events like those that occur in Arizona or those transported all the way from North Africa to the southeastern part of the United States. Did you know that over 4,700 million metric tons of these desert dust are emitted into the atmosphere each year? And these dust account for more than 70% of all particulate matters in the atmosphere. As a result, desert dust aerosols have enormous impact on several aspects of the Earth system, such as the cloud, precipitation, air quality, weather, and climate. For example, because dust aerosols can absorb the radiation from the sun and the Earth's surface, they have the ability to warm the climate and add to the warming associated with greenhouse gases. Therefore, to accurately determine whether dust actually warm or cool the global climate system, it depends on accurate representation of key dust properties, such as the dust size distribution and its mineral composition. This is where my research comes in. My name is Adeyemi, and I'm a UC President Postdoctoral Fellow at the Department of Atmospheric and Oceanic Sciences. My research focuses on constraining these dust properties, which will allow us to better estimate dust impact on the Earth system. For example, my research leveraged aircraft and satellite-based measurements of dust as well as climate model simulations to determine the amount and the sizes of dust that are present in the atmosphere. We discovered that our atmosphere contains about 17 million metric tons of dust particles that are lighter than 5 microns in diameter, whereas climate models only account for about a quarter of them. Because large dust particles warm the climate more than smaller particles, our findings have a significant impact on potentially how climate will change in the future. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm so honored to be here. I'm so honored for this award. Obviously, there's such a long list of people that I need to thank, people that have actually helped me along the way to actually be where I am today. First of all, I would like to thank my wife and my family who has been my rock and been, supporting me all the way along. Of course, I also want to thank the chair of my department, Susan Paulson, and of course, everybody in the AOS department as well. I also want to thank my advisor in particular, who has been very supportive during this journey, has been helping along the way, and that's Dr. Jesper Koch. As I always tell you, Jesper, you are the best. Thank you for all you do. Well, it's been a rather long journey to be here today, with a lot of ups and downs that has occurred along the way. But days like this always make me remember that what my late mom used to tell me, that when I was little, that I should never give up, because if I do, I won't get to see the good that is waiting around the corner for me. Obviously, this is the good that is waiting around the corner. So thank you, everybody. I'm incredibly honored to receive this award.
Congratulations, Adeyemi. We'll now present our next awardee, Shu Jiang.
Hi, I'm Susie. I'm a postdoc in Professor Yaroslav Tarkovniak's group in the Department of Physics and Astronomy. I work in theoretical condensed matter physics, and my research is about magnetism. We know that electrons carry charge and also spin, and spins give rise to magnetism. In the field of spintronics, in analogy to electronics, people envision the usage of various magnet devices for information technology. You may have heard of MRAM, the magnetoresistive random access memory, which is one of mature applications of spintronics in data storage. What we theorists do is more fundamental. We study how spins move in magnetic materials and propose how they may be useful. For example, magnets generally contain spin textures in the form of domain walls, vortices, and hedgehogs. They're very stable objects, therefore, they're ideal candidates to carry information in long distances. And for that, we need to first understand how to generate them and how they move around. In a recent paper, we outlined the physical principles of using magnet domain walls as information carriers to build a neuromorphic platform, which imitates the architecture of neural networks in the human brain. Also, spins are restlessly fluctuating, so they make noise, and that is magnetic noise. Measuring the magnet noise can be a useful approach to understand the spin transport in magnetic materials. So another part of my research is the theoretical modeling of magnet noise that can be generated by spins or spin-like degrees of freedom. I also work on other aspects of spin dynamics, such as dissipation, quantum effects, and so on. In short, magnetism is a wonderful playground.
Thank you very much. I feel very honored to receive this award. I would like to thank the selection committee. Your recognition of my research really means a lot to me. I thank the graduate division and all the organizers and sponsors of this event. I would like to especially thank my advisor, Professor Yaroslav Tarkovniak, who nominated me for this award. He's always inspiring and encouraging. His knowledge and wisdom in physics is way beyond my imagination. He has taught me many things and showed me there way more to learn, not in an intimidating way, but fascinating. I really appreciate his understanding and supporting during the time I work from home. I thank my PhD advisor, Professor Oleg Chernyshov, who recommended me for this postdoc position and also this award. I would also like to thank our department chair, Professor David Salzberg, for supporting the nomination. And I thank the professors in the physics department for illuminating discussions. I hope I could have more opportunities to interact with them. I thank all my colleagues and collaborators. It's a pleasure to work with all of them. And I thank the administrative staff from the university and the department for their help with my employment. Finally, I would like to thank the UCLA committee for taking good care of us during this difficult time. And thank you all.
Congratulations again, Shu. So our next award winner is Lucia Fernandez Del Rio. Lucia will actually be presenting her research and providing some remarks as well.
So I am Lucia Fernandez Del Rio, and I develop my postdoctoral research in the laboratory of Professor Catherine Clark in the Department of Chemistry and Biochemistry. My work is focused on COMSAN-Q or CoQ, that is a molecule that is necessary for cellular respiration and that also function as an important antioxidant in our cells. When CoQ becomes deficient, it can lead to a mitochondrial disease known as CoQ deficiency. These diseases are frequent in aging and in aging-related diseases, but can also be originated from genetic mutation. Currently, the only treatment available for these deficiencies is oral CoQ supplementation, but this supplementation is often very inefficient. The transportation of COMSAN-Q in cells is very poorly understood, and so I decided to center my research on it. I use Baker yeast as a model organism, and my study have described how the accumulation of intermediate molecules that are produced during the biosynthesis of COMSAN-Q can actually impair the uptake of externally provided COMSAN-Q. And also using a genetic screen, I have identified 6 genes that are essential for the transport of exogenous COMSAN-Q. And I really believe that in the long term, my discoveries could help COMSAN-Q supplementation to become a more effective therapy. And now I just want to thank the Chancellor Award Committee for selecting me for this award. I'm honestly very honored. And I want to give a big thank you to my mentor, Catherine Clark, because she was the one that recruited me to come to UCLA, and she has supported me all the way and in every aspect of research and non-research. I want to thank also the member of the Clark Lab because they all have been amazing, and also the Department of Chemistry and Biochemistry because it has been very supportive with me. And also want to mention my family and friends and thank you them for their support. And I just finally want to say congratulations to my fellow postdoc for their amazing job and their contribution to UCLA research. Thank you.
Congratulations again, Lucia. Our next awardee is Christina Termini.
My postdoctoral research has focused on elucidating the underlying mechanisms that govern adult blood stem cell function. Adult blood stem cells, also known as hematopoietic stem cells, give rise to the adult blood and immune system throughout the lifetime of an organism. However, when hematopoietic stem cells lose their ability to produce hematopoietic cells, life-threatening complications such as infection, hemorrhage, or anemia may occur. As such, research focused on understanding the basic mechanisms by which hematopoietic stem cells regulate the maintenance and regeneration of the blood and immune systems are of the utmost importance. My postdoctoral research has uncovered a new population of hematopoietic stem cells with improved regenerative potential. I discovered that the murine hematopoietic stem cell can be categorized on the basis of the surface expression of the molecule syndican-2, which is a heparan sulfate proteoglycan. Furthermore, syndican-2 expressing hematopoietic stem cells exhibit significantly increased regenerative potential compared to cells that do not express syndican-2. Further analyses demonstrate this increased functionality can at least partially be attributed to a new function for syndican-2 as a regulator of hematopoietic stem cell growth. This work is exciting for many different reasons. Firstly, there are only a handful of surface molecules known to both mark and regulate hematopoietic stem cells within the literature, which suggests that syndican-2 is an attractive molecular candidate to try to target to maximally augment hematopoietic function. Secondly, in the past, heparan sulfate proteoglycans have largely been considered as bystanders in hematopoietic cell function rather than intrinsic drivers of this process. And finally, in collaboration with scientists from WeSTEM, the UCLA Undergraduate Research Center, the HHMI Pathways Program, and beyond, I've worked to build a strong community of Syndican enthusiasts, which I expect will be the basis for exciting discoveries from the next generation of scientists. Thank you so much for this very generous honor. I really want to thank the organizers of this selection committee and of course the UCLA Graduate Division for recognizing me for this award. I think we can all agree that 2020 was an incredibly challenging year for many of us. So from the bottom of my heart, I want to congratulate all of the nominees on this achievement. It's amazing the productivity that has continued to be pushed by all of these postdoctoral scholars, and it's incredibly impressive. I do want to thank my mentors, John Shute from the Department of Medicine. He really has been a source of support throughout my scientific journey as a postdoc and now moving on to independent faculty positions. And Karen Lyons from the Department of Orthopedic Surgery, she really has picked me up during some of the most challenging and unforeseen circumstances I could have imagined. So having that level of support has really allowed me to continue on in this challenging journey. I want to thank the Department of Orthopedic Surgery. They have taken me in with open arms and given me the support that I really needed to stick the landing for this next chapter in my research career. And I'm forever grateful for this, as I could have easily fallen through the cracks during these circumstances that I faced in 2020. And of course, I have to acknowledge the amazing lab colleagues, co-authors, and my mentees. None of our research can be done alone, so I'm beyond grateful for the many and major contributions from all of these exceptional scientists. So with that, thank you so much for this honor.
Congratulations again, Christina. Our next awardee is Chiang Jae.
Hi, my name is Chiang Jae. I'm a postdoc at Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering, and I feel immensely honored to be nominated for the Chancellor's Award for Postdoctoral Research. I'm now actually sitting in my lab to give you a bit of flavor of my research. My effort at UCLA has been focused on the intersection of fluid mechanics, data science, and network science, with particular emphasis on innovating active flow control techniques for unsteady aerodynamic applications. In the modern era of aerodynamics, we have new operational needs, including unsteady environments and unseen regimes, for example, Martian flights. And these flow control technologies aim to establish pathways towards improving the operational safety and efficiency of air and ground vehicles on Earth and even on Mars. Flow control is able to reduce drag on the vehicle and enhance lift on the wing, which significantly enhance fuel efficiency, and thus that can be translated to cleaner air. It is also expecting to revolutionize urban transportation through the development of personalized air vehicles. With that, I would like to thank my advisor, Professor Kuniko Taira, and the Department Chair of Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering, Tim Fisher, for this nomination, and I look forward to the ceremony, and go Bruins. It's truly a tremendous honor to be selected as a recipient of this prestigious award. I feel so humble at the same time, since this really belongs to all the colleagues who I worked with. Of course, I want to thank my advisor, Sam Tyra, and have been working with him for more than 7 years since my PhD, and his support has been way beyond academic advices. I thank my department chair, Tim Fisher, and all the staff members, in particular, Evgenia Grigorova and Amanda Gordillo, who have been offering me generous help since the first day I joined UCLA. Also, Professor Jeff Eldridge at MAE and Professor Beverly McKeon at Caltech for their support. Families, I have to thank my wife for sacrificing her career back in Taiwan and to support me and bring us two beautiful kids. And also my sister for providing us on-demand support ever since. And lastly, I want to dedicate this moment to my father. He passed away exactly a year ago from today. It was really his humble attitude and philosophy being the most valuable legacy that has driven me this far. I want to thank him and thank you, everybody.
Congratulations again, Chiang, and thank you for sharing that. So our next awardee is Casey Wong.
Hi, my name is Casey, and I'm a postdoctoral scholar in the UCLA Department of Anthropology. My research focuses broadly on studying how communities understand and organize against racialization and systemic injustices through education. Specifically, I investigate how communities conceptualize freedom and make sense of structures and relations of unfreedom within teaching and learning. I collaborate with communities to make sense of an advanced state-of-the-art social justice theory and integrate these theorizations into classroom pedagogy and educational praxis within schools and educational institutions. Methodologically, I conduct this research through in-depth ethnographic data collection and social linguistic analysis, while operating from the epistemological vantage point of critical race feminisms, anti-racist, and anti-colonial frameworks. This involves following the ways freedom and social justice are spoken about by youth and adults in schools and community-based educational institutions, and within curricula, policy briefs, laws, and rulings on education. I examine how these discourses shape the transformative potential of education to contribute to building and actualizing socially just futures. My primary research project is funded by a Lyle Spencer Foundation grant with H. Samuel Elaine and Django Paris. This ethnographic research is investigating the culturally sustaining educational programming of a Black, Latinx, and Polynesian community-based youth activist organization from a comparative international perspective. I'm collaborating with this women of color-led organization to theorize a transformative justice education. The larger project coincides with comparative research with selected educational organizations engaging in culturally sustaining pedagogical work within Seattle, Washington, Barcelona, Spain, and Cape Town, South Africa. I'm currently also co-editing a volume with H. Samuel Lim and Jeff Chang that will be released on UC Press in 2021 entitled Freedom Moves, Hip-Hop Knowledges, Pedagogies, and Futures. This volume includes contributions by teachers, community-based educators, artists and activists, and develops the idea of hip-hop as a site of knowledge production and activism, where aesthetics are inextricably linked to politics and pedagogy. Thank you.
Hi, thank you so much for this wonderful award and great honor. So big, shout out to the graduate division, the Chancellor's office, and all the organizers and folks who went into the makings of this event and for awarding me this incredible honor. So first off, I would like to, shout out my advisor, my mentor, who's a family and friend, so much more, Dr. Sammy Aleem, who this wouldn't be possible without. I'd like to thank the Department of Anthropology and the chair, Jason Throop, for his support. I'd like to thank Dean Pedro Noguera, who's been also a mentor, family, and friend, who supported me through the postdoctoral journey. I'd like to thank my brother, Travis Wong, sister Rachel Wong, my brother-in-law, Pablo, and a colleague, and my little nephew, you can probably hear in the background. and this all wouldn't be possible without my quarantine, which is my online academic writing group, my family, friends, and so much more. Shana Sanchez, Derek Novasak, Joy Hampton Anderson, and Maria Jones. And last but not least, my friends and family in the Center for the Transformation of Schools and the Graduate School of Education, Tyrone Howard, Kaya Matthews, and Joaquin Noguera. Thank you so much for this honor and this award.
Congratulations again, Casey. So I'm honored to present our next awardee, Zipan Zhao.
It is my great honor to receive the nomination of the Chancellor's Postdoc Research Award. As we know, the change of the climate and the environment impacts the daily life of our human society. And we're trying to control the greenhouse gas emission by replacing the fossil fuel with renewable fuel. Hydrogen, as a renewable energy source, attracts widespread attention and intense research interest. My postdoc work at UCLA is mainly focused on the developing of a new generation of catalysts, scale-up production, and device application of the catalysts needed for hydrogen fuel cell. First, we worked on developing new generation of catalysts through surface engineering, which is tuning the surface structure and composition. Then, we moved towards laboratory scale-up production of the catalyst. We invented a one-step synthesis method which can grow the catalyst on the support directly within a single reaction vessel. With this method, we can reduce the synthetic processing steps, achieve strong interaction between catalyst and support, and good dispersity of the prepared catalyst. Finally, we further optimized the surface property of the support, together with the interaction between the support and the electrolyte, to achieve more efficient supply of reactants and the removal of products during the real fuel cell operation. As a result, for the first time, our work demonstrated that the key performance targets set by U.S. Department of Energy, like mass activity, durability, and rated power, can be achieved at the same time. Thank you for listening. Hi, I feel truly honored to receive the Chancellor's Award for Postdoctoral Research, and I'm happy to see that our research is recognized by the UCLA community. First, I would like to thank the selection committee and the UCLA. I would also like to thank my mentor, Professor Yu Huang at the Department of Material Science and Engineering, and my co-mentor, Professor Xiangwen Duan at the Department of Chemistry and Biochemistry. Then, I want to say that Professor Huang is a wonderful PI and has inspired me in many aspects, including how to find the real problems in science, how to solve them, and how to present our work in a creative way. In addition, she's very supportive. After she decided the general direction and the goal of our research, she gives me enough freedom to figure out how to reach the goal, including but not limited to let me design the experiments, build up instruments, and she's always supportive when I want to try something new. I have really learned a lot and gained abundant research experience during the years stay in her group. And at last, I would like to take the opportunity to thank the Department of Material Science and Engineering to help me here at UCLA and my collaborators in different departments across the campus. Thank you very much.
Congratulations again, Zipan.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Our next awardee is Alexis Sadier.
I'm Dr. Alexa Sadier, and I'm a postdoc in Karen Sear's lab in EEB department at UCLA. My research aims to extend our understanding of evolution by finding general biological rules that could explain and predict the incredible diversification of life on Earth. In particular, a question that we still don't really understand in evolution is how organisms themselves, by that I mean their cell, their development, their inherent physical properties, can influence or bias their own evolution in different ecological contexts. And to solve this problem, I used bats as a natural experiment to look for rules influencing species evolution because bats are a perfect model for that. So first, they are incredibly diverse morphologically, as you can see here, so we can study their difference easily. And then they are also incredibly diverse ecologically, so we can study how these rules work in different environments. And by looking at their evolution, I indeed found rules that can be applied more largely to other species. For example, by studying the evolution of color vision in bats, I revealed that one type of color vision, the UV vision, is frequently lost in bats in relationship with diet and other ecological parameters. From this example, I proposed a rule to explain how a sense, a gene, a character can be lost and regained repeatedly during evolution. Currently, I'm investigating the evolution of tooth development in bats to understand how developmental mechanisms, which are what happen during embryonic development, can influence the direction of evolution of shape, indeed like the morphology. Both of these studies uncover general mechanisms to explain how species evolve and diversify in nature and have enriched the evolutionary synthesis, which more broadly can help us to better understand and conserve biodiversity on Earth.
Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. This is an incredible honor to receive this award today among all the great people that are also postdocs at UCLA. So thank you so much. I'm really thrilled to get this award. And being a postdoc and becoming an independent scientist cannot be done without having the freedom to develop personal research and theme, exploring and pushing forward the limits and taking risks. And my advisor, Karen Sears, Dr. Karen Sears, gave me this freedom while supporting me for all these years both academically and personally. She trusted my ideas, and even when the experiments were failing or when we had crazy things like culturing bad teeth in the field. And so I couldn't have I've accomplished all I have done without her and without her support. So thank you so much, Karen, for all of that and beyond. I also want to thank the people that support me by their discussion and confidence in my research and everything. It's especially important in the wild world of academia. So I want to thank Dr. Charlene Santana and Dr. Betsy Dumont, who are not only wonderful collaborators, but fantastic human beings and always supportive. My PhD advisors, who are still up to discuss ID as colleagues now, Dr. Vincent Ledet and Sophie Pantalacci. Other Evo folks, in particular, Dr. Yann Gibert, Dr. Nicholas Runner, Dr. Ehab Abouyef, and my close collaborators in the US or Europe. I also want to thank specifically my friends, Dr. Nathaniel Prunet at UCLA and Dr. Marina Oliva, and the people I'm working with here at UCLA, in particular, Dr. Laurent Bentolila and Dr. Mike Lake at the CNSI for endless two-photon session, which allow me to just get wonderful state-of-the-art picture at the microscope. All the past and present member of Sears Lab, and my partner in life, Nicolas Rochette. I want to thank you all at the Graduate Division for organizing this, especially in this difficult time, the awardee selection and committees and all the other nominees. And thank you so much.
Congratulations again, Alexa. So I'd like to present our next awardee, Matthias Daniel.
Hello, my name is Matthias Daniel, and my postdoc work aims to understand how we keep track of where we are and how the environment we are in is represented in our brain. Knowing where we are and finding our way around is an absolutely fundamental ability in our daily life. But unfortunately, it is also an ability that is strongly declining in older age, and especially in the course of neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's. So to counteract this decline, we need a fundamental understanding of the neural mechanisms underlying these abilities. The vast majority of what we know already stems from research either in non-human animals or from humans tested often under not very naturalistic conditions, such as people in fMRI scanners or in hospital beds performing tasks on a computer screen. But to investigate these questions now under more naturalistic conditions, we have developed a new method to record the brain activity from deep brain structures of people who have epilepsy, while they can walk around naturally and perform all kinds of different tasks in the real world. And to give you an example for one very exciting discovery that we have just recently made with this setup, we found that our deep brain oscillations contain a code for where we are, and that our brain uses the same code to keep track also of other individuals in a shared environment, which is important, for example, in social situations. These and many other discoveries are not only the result of my work, but they are only possible because of the work of many team members and collaborators. Of course, my fantastic mentor, Nantia Sutana, and because of the excellent research environment here at UCLA. So thank you very much. All right, yeah, thank you so much. I'm absolutely thrilled, honored, and grateful for this wonderful recognition. And as I've said in the video already, this really is the result of the work and the support of many people to whom I am incredibly thankful. First of all, there is, of course, Nantia Sutana, who is just such an inspirational and supportive mentor. And Nantia, I really can't thank you enough for making all of this possible. Also, I want to say what a pleasure it is to work in this lab, and that is because of literally every single person who is in the lab or who was in the lab in the last in the last few years who are all simply amazing researchers, teammates, and friends. I also want to thank Itzhak Fried and his lab and all my previous mentors, collaboration partners, and especially also our research participants who put a lot of trust in us. So this allows us to do the work that we do, which will hopefully in the end help many other people and patients. It is very important for me also to say that none of this would have been possible without the support and the love of my family. First of all, my wonderful wife, Julia, and our kid, Julius, my parents, my sister, and Julia's parents as well. And finally, I want to say how grateful I am to be at such an excellent environment here at UCLA and at the Semel Institute. I really could not imagine a better place to do the science that we do, and I very much look forward to many more successful times and exciting times ahead. Thank you very much.
Congratulations again, Matthias. So now it's my honor to present our final awardee, Gracial Diamante.
My name is Gracial Diamante, and I'm a current postdoc in Dr. Xia Yang's lab in the Department of Integrative Biology and Physiology. I got my PhD in environmental toxicology from UC Riverside, where I studied the effects of water contaminants on the development of aquatic organisms like fish. Now my current research is to use a systems biology approach to investigate chemical toxicity and to better understand how chemicals affect human health, disease progression, and development. And some of the techniques that I use in my research is single-cell RNA sequencing. This can tell us the effects of a chemical on the gene expression in an organism at a single-cell resolution. I also use 16S sequencing. This can give us an idea of how a chemical affects the microbiome. And together, these different omic layers can give us a more comprehensive understanding of chemical toxicity. And some of the compounds that I've used in my research with this approach are endocrine disrupting compounds, for example, bisphenol A, which I'm sure everybody's heard of, as well as diesel exhaust particles and nanoparticles. And using this new type of approach can give us a more deeper and better understanding of how chemicals impact human health and guide us in a direction to try to prevent and treat some of these negative impacts that these pollutants have on our society. Hi, I just want to say thank you so much to the selection committee for granting me this award. I am truly honored to be one of the recipients of this award. First, I'd like to give my deepest appreciation to my mentor, Dr. Xia Yang, for not just nominating me for this, but always supporting me in my career goals. Also, thank you to our department selection committee members, as well as our department chair, Dr. Rochelle Crosby, for their nomination, as well as Dr. Chan Shah and my PhD advisor, Dr. Schlang, for their supporting letters. My research is really also a big part of many collaborations that I've had here at UCLA, so really a big thank you to all of them. In addition, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank both my family and friends, as well as my lab family. I truly have some of the best lab mates that really support me, not just in my research, but as well as, personally, and coming to work really with them there, it makes it much more fun. I'd also like to thank my family, my husband for always being so patient and understanding, as well as my parents and my sister. I really do have a great support system, both personally and academically, and I am truly, really grateful to each one of them. Last but not least, I'd like to really congratulate all the postdoc nominees here. I'm sure every single one of you has made a significant impact, not just on your specific field of research, but to the entire UCLA committee. And so I'd like to really give a huge congratulations to all of you. And with that, thank you again for the award. I really do appreciate it.
Congratulations again to Gracial, and congratulations to all of our postdoctoral scholar nominees and awardees. It is now my pleasure to welcome back Dean Ettner to our virtual microphone for the introduction of our next presenters.
Thank you so much, Daniel. So congratulations again to our exceptional postdocs, both those who won awards and those who were nominated. You are truly the best and the brightest, and we're honored that you chose UCLA for this phase of your training. I'm now delighted to move on to the part of the ceremony that honors the faculty who devote their time and energy to helping our postdocs achieve their enormous potential. 9 years ago, the UCLA Society of Postdoctoral Scholars created a new award, one that honors our faculty for their outstanding mentoring of postdoctoral scholars. Today, the Postdoctoral Association at UCLA continues that tradition. I'm very pleased to introduce Caroline Johnson and Leslie Sedgman, who will introduce and present the awards for outstanding postdoctoral mentors. Caroline Johnson is a postdoctoral scholar in neurobiology and vice chair of operations of the Postdoctoral Association at UCLA. Leslie Sedgman is a postdoctoral scholar in cardiology and chair of the Postdoctoral Association at UCLA. Welcome, Caroline and Leslie.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today to honor the postdoctoral community and the faculty members who mentor us. As Interim Dean Ettner mentioned, this marks the 9th year the UCLA Postdoctoral Mentoring Awards are being presented. These awards give postdocs a chance to say thank you to the faculty who have changed their lives and who have helped them launch careers. Mentoring is not part of the curriculum in graduate schools. It's a role that's passed on from one generation of faculty to the next. As articulated by one postdoc, my mentor always tells me to pay it forward when I express my appreciation to him. We hope that many of us will be able to pay it forward and impact the next generation of researchers. UCLA is filled with outstanding mentors, all contributing to the development of exceptional researchers of the future. This year, we received 25 postdoctoral nominations for 24 mentor nominees. It's always difficult for the selection committee to decide who should receive the awards, but we hope with these awards, we are creating a platform for mentors and mentees to elevate what good mentorship means and help spread the knowledge and importance. So, what do great mentors have in common? Great mentors are inspiring. They instill confidence and help you see the bigger picture of your research. Great mentors do not strive to create copies of themselves. Instead, they recognize the value, strength, and aspiration of each individual and help you achieve your personal and career goals. Great mentors help to build your career as you move from junior mentee to established independent researcher and to potential collaborator. Finally, I want to say to the postdocs in the audience, the mentor-mentee relationship is a two-way street, and being mentored is just as much of an art as mentoring. Before we move on to introduce this year's nominees and awardees, Leslie and I would like to thank our fellow selection committee members who are also postdoctoral scholars. Portia Mira, Ecology and Evolutionary Biology, Jacqueline Giovaniello, Psychology, Daniel Velez Ramirez, Microbiology, Immunology, and Molecular Genetics, Farha Khan, Physiology, Sada Boyd, Psychology, and Claudia Sutter, Psychology.
Thank you, Caroline. Now I will introduce our nominees in alphabetical order. Clarice Aiello, Patrick Allard, Institute for Society and Genetics, Amanda Clark, Molecular, Cell, and Developmental Biology, Naomi Eisenberger, Psychology, Chandra Ford, Community Health Sciences, Barbara Fuchs, Spanish and Portuguese, Eric Hoke, Civil and Environmental Engineering, Elaine Xiao, Integrative Biology and Physiology, Alicia Izquierdo, Psychology, David Jaspy, Civil and Environmental Engineering. Eleanor Kaufman, Comparative Literature. Jasper Koch, Atmospheric and Oceanic Sciences. Hannah Landecker, Institute for Society and Genetics. Anna Lau, Psychology. Elizabeth Logson, Psychiatry. Sung Jae Lee, Psychiatry and Behavioral Sciences. James Lloyd Smith, Ecology and Evolutionary Biology. Paul Macy, Nursing. Shaylee Mahendra, Civil and Environmental Engineering. Paul Misevich, Neurobiology. David Miklowitz, Psychiatry. Elizabetha Nemeth, Medicine. James Rosenwig, Physics and Astronomy. Mark Suchard, Biostatistics, Computational Medicine, and Human Genetics. I will now announce the awardees. After each award name is read, a video from the mentors nominators will be played. Clarice Aiello, Electrical and Computer Engineering. The nomination was submitted by Ana Valdez Curiel.
There are many reasons why we think Clarice is a great mentor, and we would like to highlight some of them.
I'm a graduate student in Clarice's lab, and I feel that she's a great mentor because she's very sensitive, very emotionally attached to her students, and always puts the needs and well-being of her students before anything else.
Clarice is someone that I admire and look up to, not only because she's a driven and passionate scientist, but also because she's the kindest and most compassionate advisor that I ever worked with.
Clarice is an incredible mentor. Her patience, availability, and positivity make her a fantastic advisor for my PhD studies.
Clarice is a very ambitious and enthusiastic scientist, but she's also a very kind, compassionate, and approachable human being. You can tell she really cares for all of us in the group, and she's constantly striving for our well-being. On behalf of us, thank you so much, Clarice, and please keep up the good work.
The second awardee is Elaine Hsiao, Integrative Biology and Physiology. The nomination was submitted by Jonathan Lynch.
So why I think that Elaine is an exceptional mentor? There are many reasons, but if I have to pick just one, I would say that she's truly committed to her role as a mentor. She genuinely cares about our projects, about our career goals, about our scientific development, and she's willing to put the time and the effort that it takes to fully support us.
Elaine's an amazing mentor because she really puts in the time and energy into helping her trainees progress. That's something I noticed from even before I joined the lab, that she really, really, really wants you to do well, and she's going to help you do well.
She is very encouraging and understanding. She has improved as a mentor exponentially over the past 2 years.
Congratulations to our mentors.
Congratulations again to our faculty members who are nominated for and received awards for their outstanding mentoring. Thank you everyone for joining us today to honor our postdoctoral community. Nominees, we will be mailing your certificates to you at a later date. Awardees, we will be mailing your plaques to you at a later date. Lastly, we will provide the links to the videos presented today via email following this event. Congratulations again to all of our nominees and winners, and I wish you a pleasant rest of your evening.